Hello and welcome back to the Dollar Store Commander channel, where I make you strong Commander decks at Dollar Store prices. My name is Nicholas, and today we're going to be doing another 3-in-1 series. This is where I'm going to cover 3 different Commander decks at a budget of $50 to $60. I will go over 3 cards in each of the decks that are key to the strategy of the deck. I will not go over any of the upgrades you can put into this deck. I will leave them in the maybe board if you want to bring the starting price up from $50 up to $100. I will not also be doing a video of showing you how the deck plays, but if you do like this video and you want to see gameplay of these decks, let me know down in the comments below. I can make into a separate video of 3 games for each deck so you can see just how the deck would play out. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start. The first deck we're going to be looking at is Greasefang Okiba Boss. Greasefang is 1 white and a black legendary creature rat pilot. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste and return it to the owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So with this deck, we have a lot of different vehicles that synergize with this commander, but the one in particular, Parhelion 2, legendary artifact vehicle for 6 and 2 white. Flying, first strike, vigilance. Whenever Parhelion 2 attacks, create 2 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance that are attacking. So with this deck, your main thing is that you're going to be trying to put Parhelion into the graveyard if you can. We also have a couple other ways that will just help get Parhelion. Hi, Future Nick here. I just wanted to point out, I am aware that the unmarked grave would not work with the Parhelion 2 because it is a legendary artifact, but it is still a decent enough include that I decided to leave it in because it can grab other utility artifact vehicles that can be reanimated with Greasefang. Just wanted to point that out to avoid any confusion. Enjoy the rest of the video. To just get Parhelion into your graveyard. Anything else you might want to put in? The Clinical Loner. Clinical Loner is a 1 and a black creature human survivor. Clinical Loner can't be blocked by glimmers and has survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Clinical Loner is tapped, you may search your library for a card and put it into the graveyard. Then shuffle your library. So Clinical Loner helps out a lot with our strategy. We can go ahead and tap her to create any of our other vehicles that are in play, and then during our second main phase, since she survived, we can go ahead and take the Parhelion the second, drop it into the graveyard, so that way Greasefang can bring it back for next turn. Now with Greasefang's ability, it is going to bounce it back to our hand. So we have a lot of ways to either sacrifice the Parhelion the second to get back in the grave, or to go ahead and discard it. One of the main ways that we're going to use to discard it, that's going to be the most consistent, is Key to the City. Key to the City is an artifact for 2. Discard a card up to 1 target creature can't be blocked this turn. Whenever Key to the City becomes untapped, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. So a way to just go ahead and give us discard fodder for the Parhelion if it keeps coming back into our hand, or any other cards that we want to go ahead and reanimate with Greasefang. Our next commander is going to be Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow, 1 blue and a black, legendary creature, human ninja with commander ninjutsu. For blue and a black, return an unblocked creature controller to his hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand or the command zone, tapped and attacking. And whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana cost. So for this strategy, the main thing that we're going to try to do is just get any cheap evasive creature out on the battlefield whenever we can. Then bring out our commander with its commander ninjutsu and repeat that process with other creatures that have ninjutsu, or if we need to, bounce back our commander or any of our other creatures just to continue this process. A popular creature that's going to help in both of these scenarios is Changeling Outcast. Changeling Outcast, single black, shapeshifter changeling. This card is every creature type, and Changeling Outcast cannot be blocked and can't be blocked. So with this, it's already single 1-drop, turn 2, and you'll be able to get your commander out, can't be blocked, and because it's a changeling, whenever we get it back out again, it's going to count towards our commander's ability, our triggered ability, to go ahead and reveal the top card of our library. So like I said, we want to have multiple ways of having our creatures get through, and when we have our ninjas out, we want to be able to put them back to our hand and repeat this process so we can get Yuriko's triggered ability. And one way we can do that multiple times is with Kaito Dancing Shadow. Kaido Dancing Shadow is a legendary planeswalker for 2 blue and a black. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you may return one of them to its owner's hand. If you do, you may activate loyalty abilities of Kaito twice rather than just once. So with that, it's already helping up our game plan by just putting back one of our unblocked ninjas back to our hand so we can redo the process. And we haven't gone to its loyalty abilities. Its +1 is up to one target creature can't attack or block until your next turn. It has loyalty +0, draw a card, and its -2 is create a 2/2 colors drone artifact creature token with Death Touch, and when this creature leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Now with this, we're going to not always have a way to bounce back some of our cards back to our hand. We're going to have a couple of our just evasive creatures. So one way that we can make sure that they get through and still trigger our commander's ability is by changing any of our creatures that are just evasive and not ninjas into ninjas. And one way of doing that is with the newly reprinted Conspiracy. Conspiracy, 3 and 2 black, enchantment. As Conspiracy enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So this makes it where anything that's just unblockable, anything that's just flying and is not a ninja. The next commander we have is Pantlaza, the Sun Favored. I wanted to make a budget version of this deck. The precon alone is well over its original starting price from the day it was released, so I wanted to go ahead and build a cheap budget option for people who wanted to pick up this commander and just didn't get the opportunity to whenever it came out around 2023. My goodness. So Pantlaza, the Sun Favored, is a legendary dinosaur for 2 and Naya. Whenever a Pantlaza, Sun Favored, or another dinosaur enters the battlefield under your control, you may discover X, where X is that creature's toughness. Do this only once each turn. So the whole point of this deck is that we're going to be trying to ramp out as fast as we can and get our dinosaurs out as fast as we can as well. We also want to have multiple ways of triggering our commander's ability, not just during our turn, but during our opponent's turn. That way we can get the full value of it by either blinking or flashing some of our creatures in. Now we have a couple ways to go ahead and do this by blinking our creatures, and one of them is going to be with Cloud Shift. Cloud Shift is an instant for a single white. Exile target creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. With this, we can use to protect our commander, or if we have one of our bigger dinosaurs in play that we either want to protect or get more value off of, we can blink our creature. That way we can trigger our commander's ability during our opponent's turn. Another way that we can trigger our commander's ability but also be able to protect our board is Lyzel's Acrobatics. Lyzel's Acrobatics is 3 and a white, instant, exile all non-token creatures you control, then roll a d20. For the rolls between 1 and 9, return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. But if you get a 10 between 10 and a 20, return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. Then exile them again. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Now, because our commander will be blinked multiple times, it'll still trigger multiple times. It's only going to see that one instance when it's first done. If it's not on the if it's on the battlefield and you try to repeat the process, it won't trigger. But because this is a new instance where it's entering the battlefield, it will trigger again. We also have ways of making to where we can cast our creatures at flash speed, and one of them is with Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. Vivian, Champion of the Wilds, 2 and a green, legendary planeswalker. You may cast creature spells as though they had flash. And with its +1, until your next turn, up to one target creature gains vigilance and reach, and then you can -2 it. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, and put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. For as long as this card remains exiled, you may look at that card and you may cast it if it's a creature spell. That's going to wrap it up for our 3-in-1 deal. If you liked this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment about any notes. And if you want me to go ahead and do another video where I'll be testing all 3 of these decks, hopefully by the next couple of days, we'll be getting more spoilers for Innistrad Remastered. I wanted to do more commanders on that, but didn't have much else to go on. I have some ideas of what commanders I would do that can be inspired by Innistrad Remasters, but I wanted to see what other reprints are going to be coming out that can go into future decks. So like I said before, if you liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It's free to do and really helps out the channel a lot. Leave a comment, share with a friend. As always, thanks for your time.